YouTube, what's good? Back with another video, another video. I'm not playing with y'all, you feel me? I keep talking about Trap Lil Ross, so I found a video, you feel me? Something with him and Youngboy, you feel me? Talking about the Trump Hotel shootout, you feel me? Anybody that's been in tune, you know what's going on with it. So, do what you're supposed to do right now. Now that you done that, we ain't wasting no time. We're gonna get it straight into it. I ain't finna keep talking y'all here, though. Let's do this.
At the start of 2019, NBA Youngboy was riding high off of the news that he had been YouTube's top streaming artist for nearly 2 years straight. But unfortunately, all that success would obviously come with extra attention from his ops and further attempts to get him and his team down. In May 2019, Rolling Loud would take place in Miami, and Youngboy would be in town for a whole weekend of back-to-back pressings from his ops. Apparently, early Friday morning, he was attending a strip club party with Young Thug, where apparently someone popped off a few rounds at the party bus that was driving between venues, an attack which TMZ reported was targeting Young Thug.
Young Thug and his entourage became the apparent victims of a drive-by shooting that went down this morning on I-95.
I actually legitimately didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about that. And I'd be a little interned, but I knew nothing about that. Trap Lil Ross, you slipping. You didn't tell me about that.
But for the record, I couldn't find any solid on-paper proof that Youngboy was actually involved in this incident, other than what was said in the Miami Herald article and some speculation on a few Baton Rouge crime channels on YouTube. But unfortunately for Youngboy, that was only the beginning of the trouble, because at this point, it seemed his ops were as determined to capture Youngboy as Michael Jackson on a Cambodian tour stop.
Hey,
so after that, in a scenario that's unfortunately all too familiar
he said what?
Youngboy as Michael Jackson on a channels on YouTube. But unfortunately for Youngboy, that was only the beginning of the trouble, because at this point it seemed his ops were as determined to capture Youngboy as Michael Jackson on a Cambodian tour stop. And so after that, in a scenario that's unfortunately...
I gotta take y'all with me right quick. It's raining hard as hell, bro. It's the rain, boy. Yeah, that's the rain, boy. It's raining hard as hell out there, bro. Look at that. Why ain't got rain like that, bro? Alright, let's get back to the video, y'all.
Familiar in hip-hop these days. Shortly after Youngboy gave up his location on Twitter, his ops pulled up on him with more dicks than the dumpster outside a sex change clinic, letting off the choppers broad daylight outside the Trump International Hotel and Beach Resort in Sunny Isles, Miami, where Youngboy and his crew were staying at the time. Apparently, Youngboy was traveling with a large crew that included his girlfriend as well as OG33, as well as several other unnamed affiliates and family members, and they were ambushed by a black Cadillac Escalade as they left the hotel. Youngboy's girlfriend was hit in the shoulder and taken to hospital, but even more wildly, from the moment that shots were heard, members of Youngboy's entourage returned fire with apparently legally registered firearms. Now, unfortunately for the crew, they hadn't spent much time at the gun range since the last incident, because authorities described them as standing at the valet section firing rifles wildly from the hip. Well, guess how that went down? Badly. As a result, 3 bystanders were hit, including a 5-year-old.
So they was shooting from down here. In broad daylight, y'all just in front of a hotel like this? Yeah, how y'all get the drop? To know where y'all was gonna be riding past, like y'all had him at the hip, like. No, this was in this is the shootout in Miami.
Crews claimed the life of an innocent bystander.
They tried to take Youngboy out.
Mohammed, an honest, hard-working guy minding his own business who had just finished his shift working at the Hertz rent-a-car across the street.
He worked here for over 10 years, and we are absolutely at a loss for words for what happened to him. He was an innocent victim.
Honestly, the only way this incident could have gone worse for Youngboy is if he pulled one of these things out. But apparently, investigators couldn't even find anybody at this point, because all of Youngboy's crew that was still at the scene defense and Florida.
Yo, the gun was a.
I'm not sure if Florida has a close your eyes.
They said the only way he could have is if you pulled one of these out. The gun had the the gun had the handle on it, right? But the slider and shit was facing you. So he said that's the only way it could have got worse for Youngboy, because it was already bad. So he'd have shot himself.
First, as whoever shot first could apparently be charged with
my reaction's gonna be raw, y'all.
Described the scene as
my shit finna be raw. So like if we doing this and something happened, like mid, you feel me, mid reaction, I'ma show y'all. Like, it's raining hard as hell. I just showed y'all it's raining hard as hell, bro. I didn't expect that, but yeah, you see I got Fat Friend in the background. He back there. I might rap to him about the video. Just, this what we gonna do. We gonna be raw and not cut from now on. You feel me? We gonna let y'all in. We gonna let y'all know, bro. You hear me? Welcome.
I mean, assassination attempt, I would have called it a 5-on-1 impromptu game of team deathmatch. Youngboy and his label apparently offered to cover the funeral costs for the innocent man, but it's unclear as to whether or not they were taken up on this offer. Youngboy's lawyer had said that apparently he felt terrible about this, and he had wished that it had been him rather than the innocent man. And it was initially reported that apparently Youngboy had refused to cooperate.
See what I mean, yo? That's what I mean. That's why I say it's raw and uncut. Loud ass paper bag. No, ain't no all shit. They hear you. They hear you. They hear you. Let's get back to business, y'all.
Law enforcement
Be on
wanted
people.
to know who had initiated the shootout, but his lawyer later said that was actually miscommunication and that he hadn't really been given enough time to try and convince Youngboy to speak to them about the incident. In fact, Youngboy was apparently initially detained by the cops at the scene, but apparently greased up Youngboy managed to slip away and pretty incredibly made his way to Rolling Loud, where he ended up performing on.
I watched that performance and I swear on my life, I never knew that. When I heard about the shooting part, I never put two and two together. That was, I always thought that he performed before the shoot. I didn't know he performed after the shoot.
Immediately after the incident, as if
See what I
nothing
mean?
had happened, whilst his girlfriend lay shot up in the hospital.
Trapper
A week
Ross,
later, he
you know
actually
it,
did
bro.
resurface
You
in
know
Baton
it, bro.
Rouge for a
He
court
ain't even in
hearing,
the
where he
States.
was unsurprisingly swiftly
You know
thrown
it,
in
bro.
the slammer. As far as the shooter's identity, that's not been strictly solved, though the police have described them as having an AK-47 and several handguns. Well, that narrows it down to any Floridian above the age of 6. I personally don't think the investigators are going to have any luck with this one. I mean, it's not like Youngboy's #1 op, Lit Yoshi, was riding around Miami not long before this, posting clips of him holding a chopper. Right? Now, for the record, there were... I mean, it's not like Youngboy's #1.
So we talking about...
And pretty incredibly made his way to Rolling Loud, where he ended up performing on stage immediately after the incident, as if nothing had happened, whilst his girlfriend lay shot up in the hospital. A week later, he actually did resurface in Baton Rouge for a court hearing, where he was unsurprisingly swiftly thrown in the slammer. As far as the shooter's identity, that's not been strictly solved, though the police have described them as having an AK-47.
Okay, so you said the police described him as having an AK-47, right?
And several handguns.
handguns.
Well, that narrows it down to any Floridian.
He said that narrows you down to anybody in Florida.
Going to have any luck with this one. I mean, it's not like Youngboy's.
He said he don't know if the police gonna have any any chance with this one, right? Now listen.
One op, Lit Yoshi, was riding around Miami not long before this, posting clips of him holding a chopper. Right now, for the record, there was a...
He says not like Lit Yoshi wasn't riding around earlier that day with a chopper in Miami. But he said he don't think the police. He said he don't think the police will be able to solve this one.
Speculation that Detroit rapper and winner of Best Dressed with No Support, T Grizzly, was somehow involved with it. After the news even reported that the shootout was...
This is Best Dressed with No Support.
We've learned the altercation was between the entourages of NBA Youngboy and T Grizzly.
Apparently it was known that they were beefing after an earlier collaboration attempt went south, with some saying that they potentially fallen out over money, but the most obvious potential cause of them two not getting along was likely the relationship between T Grizzly and another of Youngboy's ops, Fredo Bang.
Fredo Bang, man. The internet's been going crazy about y'all relationship and just, seeing y'all together. That's your man, that's the homie?
I fuck with him. I fuck with any nigga who like genuine and solid and come from that and really trying to change and save his life with this music shit.
However, as we all know, a friend of an op is an op. A Facebook friend of an op is an op. Hell, if you even smell like one of my ops, I'm ready to give you the smoke. And even T Grizzly himself seemed to acknowledge the possibility for beef on this basis in an interview where he discussed his affiliations with Fredo Bang.
But I might tell you, yeah, you would catch a straight bullet fucking with that nigga. Right. You feel me? Catch a shot that wasn't meant for you. You might catch a shot that wasn't meant for you. Because if I see him and it's this type of time, I ain't sparing him just because the nigga in the car that ain't got nothing to do with it. Because this might be my only time to get him.
And a few months later, when T Grizzly lost his auntie/manager, many conspiracy theorists were pointing the finger at Youngboy. But let's not forget that this incident did go down in Detroit, where Youngboy isn't...
People be really like just jumping to conclusions, automatically assuming something got something to do with something. Like, y'all don't know what them people got going on back in their city or their town. You don't know who they beefing with, you feel me? Like, you only hear about the rap beef. You hear about who they beefing with in the hood through rap. I feel like Youngboy, or I'm going to say NBA and TBG, are probably the first two groups to have a bunch of niggas in the group become famous who legitimately didn't do shit. Ben just started rapping. Baby Joe wasn't rapping at first. OG3 didn't even rap at first. None of these niggas, Youngboy was the only rapper in the group that we know about initially. But then you had Big B and KD, they rap. But the rest of them niggas didn't do nothing. They were famous because their name had NBA in front of it. It'd be crazy. That's lit to me.
And let's not forget that every rapper
take your time with you.
all over
It's still the
place.
same group of
All kinds
niggas, bro.
different beasts could have been
That's
involved.
lit.
So let's
Same
put
group
those
of
T Grizzly rumors to bed and turn back to the internet speculation where all
On both
eyes were on
sides.
Lit Yoshi, who would soon end up in handcuffs for a whole other bunch of madness.
Yeah, so, you feel me? You know we ain't watching that. We can't do that.
Moida in December 2019 for an apparent drive-by on NBA and BBG members in Highland Road in Baton Rouge. A 7.62 cartridge was found at the scene. You know, the type of bullet that Lit Yoshi was bragging about having used earlier in his song Blast It. Ballistics say that the same strap was used in a booting at the 3000 block of Crestwood Street in February 2019 at BBG House. And apparently the police claim that Lit Yoshi was a suspect in numerous slayings prior to these charges. That's not a good look, Chief. But considering what a danger to society that this man apparently is, you'd have thought the Baton Rouge authorities would have kept him under lock and key until the facts could truly be determined, right?
Nope.
Wrong! Within a week of learning of his arrest, Lit Yoshi was bailed out and dropping a music video called First Day Out. The video started out with a pretty grating rendition of Siri reading out his charges that he was arrested for, followed by a shot of him walking out that same jail that NBA Youngboy has walked out of so many times before.
I don't know if it's the same one, but it seems like every celebrity or somebody with a name from Baton Rouge to go to jail, somebody all come out the same damn jail. I don't know how it works that way. I don't know where they get locked up at. What part of Baton Rouge or New Orleans, whatever it is, Louisiana. But every jail looked the same. There's no way every jail looked the same. Tell me if
Might as
you
well
do.
just install some revolving doors at this place at this point. And I know what you're thinking. Did he say anything incriminating on that song? Well, I think the top YouTube comment says it all. After the Miami shooting, Youngboy was hauled off to jail and a probe was begun as to whether he had used social media to make threats and breached his probation. This was supposedly a social media video which Youngboy's lawyer, and myself included, couldn't even find.
She looked at a news feed regarding the article, and in the comments there was some sort of embedded video that she since tried to look up and I don't think she was able to find. So she wants to see if the district attorney's office can find or whatever videos they find. But I don't know what the video is.
Apparently the judge chose to place him in jail after the Miami incident, even though he was the intended target of the assassination. As his
Never
lawyer
like
made
that.
clear.
Never like when they do that. Never like when they send people to jail
There's no
for
question.
getting shot at. That's weird to me.
Police investigated it. They talked to him. His car was shot up. He was leaving the hotel. He had his mother in the car. He had his girlfriend in the car. And somebody came up, and I don't know what the weapons were. I don't know if it was an AK or what it was, but they opened fire and lit him on fire.
This got him a 90-day sentence, which frankly sucked. But honestly, 90 days is a damn sight better than the 10 years that he was potentially looking at had his full sentence been called in. They eventually let him out of jail on house arrest in August, and we got more scenes of him leaving that same jail in a Facebook Live, scenes which eventually made their way into his comeback song Self-Control, as well as him appearing in a celebratory social media video in his garage, like some sort of chopper-toting Ty Lopez, where he seemed to still be rocking his jailhouse mustache and a flat cap looking like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Whilst he was on house arrest, he dropped the enormous banger House Arrest Kings. That track completely blew up on release, racking up millions of views within days, and to this day still sitting around 100 million views on YouTube, as well as beginning that handy trend of him recording music videos at home because he's on house arrest, something that everybody...
100 million. I'm still fighting for a stack. I had 4 before. I got 4. I had 4 before. But I need that like consistently. I need that every video. I need y'all to get back on that, man. Every video.
I get used to seeing in 2020. On October 2019, he dropped his new mixtape, AI Youngboy 2, that got him the Billboard #1 hit that he had always dreamed of. Achieved mainly due to the fact that he racked up a whopping 144.7 million streams, all in the first week, being one of the biggest streaming debuts of 2019. But apparently Youngboy wasn't even safe on house arrest, and as always, the ops were pulling up to spray in his driveway.
That's a funny video. We might react to that. We might react to that.
Come on, I've got to try and keep it light. This story got bleak real quick. And luckily, things would finally turn a corner for Youngboy at the end of 2019. On December 13th, the judge decided to terminate his probation early, since apparently he had completed all of his conditions to date.
NBA Youngboy was in court today. He's no longer on probation and says he plans to leave Louisiana. A judge today ended his probation during a hearing. Lawyers for the rapper, whose real name is Kentrell Golden, had argued that he followed all of the court's conditions. Golden was arrested back in May after a deadly shootout in Florida. His defense had argued that he was actually the target of the shooting.
Congratulations.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you feel right now?
Feel good, bro.
After this big W, he announced he'd be leaving Louisiana immediately. And I gotta say, getting off of a 10-year suspended sentence after an AM charge with no supervision is gotta be one of the biggest wins I've ever seen in hip-hop or crime history, full stop. Now, apparently there were a couple of outside elements at play that led to the court making this decision. Apparently, a court-approved music video had actually jeopardized Youngboy's lease, and apparently he was struggling to even find a place where he could stay in the city in the case that the early termination wasn't granted and he wasn't able to leave the state. And apparently Atlantic Records had actually sent a notice to the court personally, suggesting that Youngboy's personal and financial safety would not be secure if he was forced to stay in Baton Rouge under these conditions. After being granted his freedom, Youngboy...
There's too much going on. That man can't. He's the bag. He's the ticket. He can't stay down there.
The Judge Jackson a blessing, saying she saved him and had
go to
given
jail,
him opportunity after opportunity up until this point. And honestly, it seemed like the judge had truly had Youngboy's back at this point, apparently previously denying numerous attempts that the DA had tried to revoke his probation and send him to jail. She ultimately told him that she felt that it was the people around him that didn't have his best interests at heart that were bringing him down. You think? But that comment clearly resonated with him, and he even started off his hit song Lil Top with the lyric, "I cut off my day ones for the win," a lyric that I've got to say resonated with me too. But hey, whether or not Youngboy is actually choosing not to surround himself with murderous goons has yet to be seen. However, what is a fact is the major W that Youngboy finally got out of Baton Rouge and moved him and his family to California. In my opinion, NBA Youngboy is a true inspiration in the fact that he was able to make it out of such a violent and dangerous past and location with his life and his success intact. It seemed like so much blood had been shed on this journey, and he'd been given chance after chance, which a lot of people might say that he maybe didn't even deserve. And it's truly heartwarming to see such a young, talented man at this point surviving and thriving off the so many hardships. Many people in the rap game, especially Baton Rouge artists, have discussed.
We're going to just stop it right there, you feel me? Again, another great watch. We working hard, man. We you feel me? They coming. I'm pushing them out, yeah, man. So, it's my last one for the night. Feel me? Let's do that. Let's do that. I appreciate y'all, yeah, man. Now, you feel me? I need y'all to go run these up. Run all three of them up. They're going to drop simultaneously, day after day after day. And I'm going to keep doing that. You got it? Good. All right, so, like, comment, subscribe. We out.
All right.